Alright, so welcome back students. We are now down to the part 3 of this lecture, the GE122 Geodetic Surveying class. So we are now going to discuss the computations about the adjustment of the chain of quadrilaterals. In the adjustment of a quadrilateral, let us recall that all measured angles are affected by the errors of measurement. So mo ito natin gibuhat din ng station adjustment, figure adjustment. So because every angle no are being affected by the errors of measurement, dili man gid perfect nga makakuha tayong tawag exact na values. No? Adjustment of measured angles is necessary such that only one accurate values are being determined. There are two basic objectives of adjustment. So anong mag-adjust man ta og angles? First is ang removal of inconsistencies and to prevent error ng accumulation. So mo nang ang error is i-distribute na to siya para ma-lessen, no? Ma-minimize na to ang residuals. In a quadrilateral, corrections have to be applied such that the conditions are being satisfied. So, in adjusting quadrilateral, na ating mga conditions nga dapat i-satisfy during sa method of adjustment. First is ang interior and exterior angles at each station must be 360 degrees. No? So, mo na ay station adjustment. No? Next is ang geometric condition. When we say geometric condition, the sum of the 8 interior angles must be exactly 360 degrees. Since kay quadrilateral man ta, the sum of all interior angles must be 360 degrees. Manang dapat mo satisfy siya aning geometric condition. Next is ang trigonometric condition. Pasabot niya is the sine of each angle must be proportional to the length of the opposite side of that triangle. So para mas more pa ani yung sabtan pa nato ni siya ato ni i-discuss later no sa later part of these slides. So by sine law, we can compute the length of the unknown sides of the triangles within a quadrilateral. So using sine law no kabalo naman mo ana. And checks on the computed length are possible since any length can be obtained through the use of 4 different combinations of triangles. And if the measured angles are unadjusted, it is unlikely that the 4 computed values will agree exactly. So, mo nang kinahanglan na siya mga prerequisites such that station adjustment, figure adjustment, sir patamuan diri sa adjustment of a quadrilateral. So, different routes to compute the length of the unknown side. For example, naatay known side, so mao na to ang baseline, kumbaga sa to ang atong pag-discuss kay sa triangulation. And naatay unknown side, so there are different routes daw no gamiton. So let's say for example naatay A, B, D, no? Kani nga triangle plus og kani nga triangle, no? With ang common side niya is ang kaning AD. So mo na iyang common route. Or pwede pod nga let's say A, B, C nga triangle, then B, C, D kani nga triangle. With ang iyang common side is ang kaning BC, no? BC. Same gihapon no diri sa kaning kuan ABD, no? Kaning ABD, tapos kanina yung BCD kaning nga triangle, ang iyang common side is ang kaning BD, no? Or pwede po ang ikaupat is ang kaning ABC, no? Kanya ACD kaning nga triangle, ang iyang common side is ang kaning AC, no? AC ni siya. So there are different routes no to considered in the adjustment of quadrilateral or how to compute the length of the unknown side. Magdepende na sa imong gamiton. Or kung ahatong mas strongest na route after nimo sa getting the strength of figure. So Different routes, again, wala akong giingon ganina, no? First route daw is ABD, A, B, D, and to solve the AD, so mao ni ang iyahang common side, no? Then using A, C, D to compute the unknown side. Second route will be A, B, C, and to compute the AC, kani. So, mo ni iyahang common side na pod to compute the unknown side, which is ang DC. Third route is pwede po siya solve for BD. So, kanina po ang iyahang common side to solve DC. No? And lastly, ikaapat is ang solve for BC. Kanina po na common side. So, muna kong i-discuss ganina, balik lang. And if the measured angles are unadjusted, it is unlikely that the four computed values will agree, no? Will agree exactly. So dapat i-adjust mo na before ang adjustment of quadrilateral. So dapat mo agi pa siya station, figure, then quadrilateral dayon. So let's talk about the purpose of the adjustment of quadrilateral. So according to this slide, no, to correct the observed angles so that the various conditions relative to the sum of the angles will be satisfied. No, atong mga condition na ganina nga dapat tong mga trigonometric condition, geometric condition, figure adjustment, station adjustment. So dapat masatisfy to siya. And the computed length of a side will have the same numerical value regardless of the triangles used in the computation. So dapat ang imuhang makuha nga value, no, nga computed value using the adjustment of the quadrilateral will be the same with the numerical value, ang tinuod niya nga value. No, kay naman tay unknown, no? Pag makuha to ang unknown tapos naaman tay check base, so dapat si check base o ang imuhang na compute will be the same. So the steps in adjustment, the adjustment of a quadrilateral. First is the angle about each station are adjusted in a total of 360 degrees before the next adjustment is made. So before the next adjustment is made. So dapat station adjustment sa una. No? Next is the sum of the interior angles of each quadrilateral is adjusted to equal to n minus 2 times 180 or 360 degrees. No? For example, no, the sum of the interior angles of a quadrilateral. Interior, so figure adjustment na ta. Pag figure adjustment is ang kay quadrilateral man ta, dili man to triangle ka ganina. Triangle man to ka ganina, mao tong 180. So since kay quadrilateral man siya, so dapat figure adjustment, which is 360 degrees, the total interior angle of the quadrilateral. Next is the opposite angles of the intersection of the diagonals should be equal to the values of these angles, which were previously adjusted in the previous step, are compared and the difference between them is divided by the 4 and distributed to the angles. Opposite angles daw ko, no, at the intersection of the diagonals should be equal. And the computed correction is added to the similar pair of the angles and subtracted from the larger pair. So ang pasabot na niya class is kung opposite daw, no, opposite angles of the diagonals. Opposite angle of the diagonals. Let's say for example, A plus B o si F plus E, no. So kung asa ang mas dako sa ilaha, no, dito ay minus ang correction, no? And kung gamay, like for example, mas dako si A plus B, so ang error na to niya class is i-minus, and kung gamay man ni si F plus E, so i-plusan siya og correction. So mura na iyang pasabot, but we're going to deal with this one later. Next is the trigonometric condition is satisfied by means of the computation involving the sine of all the angles. And the angles are adjusted so that the computed length of an unknown side opposite to an unknown side will be the same regardless of the 4 possible routes is used. No? Kasi nakadumdum mo atong inyong subject before sa pure Ferguson adjustment na ay log side. So mag-ingato punta karon diri asa to ang topic. So some important notes. After the adjustment, any desired length may be then computed using by sine law. Sayo na siya, sine law lang. And there are 4 possible routes in the adjustment of quadrilateral. There are 4 solutions, may not be exactly but the same, but may be close to each other. In this case, they may be averaged for work of ordinary, like for example in the low precision. Another one is when 2 baselines are measured, an additional condition is introduced. No? Kung tintahay na kay duha ka baseline, baseline 1 and baseline 2. And kaning mga tunga-tunga, imo na siyang gamiton for check base. Kaya condition ang dapat i-consider. The length of each side in the connecting quadrilaterals must be the same when computed from one baseline as when computed from the another. Like for example, ang imuhang nakay duha ka baseline, baseline 1 and baseline 2. And imong check base is naa diri sa FE, no? Kani nga FE imuhang check base. So therefore, mag-compute ka aning FE using baseline 1, no? Dapat the same na siya o value kung si baseline 2 imong gamiton to get this value of FE, no? Ingana na siya, ingana ang pasagot. And example, ano siya, no? Kung pasabot kanina, if line FE computed from baseline must be the same with the computed from base 2. Ingana siya. So when the quadrilateral covers a very large area where a spherical exists must be accounted, no? Kung tagko na, no, large area na siya, larger area na imong gigamit, dapat gamitan na siya og spherical exists kay ang mga angles, we all know, di ba, nga earth is curve, no? So dapat kung ang imuha pong angles kung naana siya curvature is dapat naka-spherical. So, dapat kinahanglan siya ko og spherical excess. So 1/3 of the computed spherical excess is subtracted, no? Always subtracted from each one of the adjusted spherical angles in each triangle. And over a very large area, no? Curvature of the earth must be considered. So kung dili pa kaayo jud ako imuhang area, kaya ni kay very large naman yun. So like for example, country to country na siya. So, naana siya curvature of the earth must be considered. Katon, mas nakadamdam mo itong mga tree hills problems, no? May ano, and pwede po siya katong mga ellipsoidal formula, no? To get the height of tower, no? Ganitan mo ellipsoidal formula. So, ato po nang i-discuss diri sa later sa atong discussion. So, conditions for angular adjustment of a quadrilateral. First is we have angle condition. The angle condition refers to the requirement imposed on the angles by the direction of their sides. And for side condition, it is also called length condition. Length condition refers to the requirements imposed by the lengths of the other side. So, angle condition sa angle, sa side is ang length. So, let's start with the angle condition equations. Observe that in the quadrilateral, there are 7 conditions may be formed. 7 angle conditions may be formed. From the 4 overlapping triangles such as ABC, BCD, and ABD and ACD, so we can say that ABCD are equal to 180 degrees. So that's our equation 1. And we can also say that C plus D plus E plus F is equals to 180 degrees also. So let's treat that as our equation number 2. And we can say also that A plus B plus G plus H is equals to 180 degrees gyapon. Kay triangle man siya. So that's our equation 3. And E plus F plus J plus H is equals to 180 degrees gyapon. So that's our equation 4. So for the quadrilateral ABCD, so we can say na si A plus B plus CD, E, F, G, H, kung ato na siyang i-add, it will result to this equation. So this equation n minus 2 times 180 degrees is the equation for getting the sum of the interior angle of a polygon. So for this quadrilateral, we can say nga ang n is equals to 4. Okay, since quadrilateral man siya. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So upat na siya ka sides. Therefore, sa atong isam tanan, no, ang interior angles, it will give us 360 degrees. So another equations that we'll be going to introduce is the angle condition equations. No, angle condition equations. So from this figure, the angle condition equations is a plus b, di ba, the sum of the opposite diagonals must be equal. So therefore, a plus b daw must be equal to e plus f. So a o b, pag ato na siyang e plus, no, must be equal na siya sa f o e. Ito po ng e plus. And for c, pikas na pod, another side, kay diagonals man. So si c og si d, kani og kani, dapat ato nang i-add, dapat equal daw na sila tanan, no, sa h o sa g. So muna siya ang pasabot sa angle condition. So for the corrections of the angle conditions, to the angles, to remove discrepancies in the closure of triangles can be computed using these following equations. Si v1 is equals to v2. So muna siya ang mga residuals class, no, residuals ang tawag ani niya. V1 daw og si V2 is equal, and V3 and V4 is equal, V5 and V6 is equal, and V7 and V8 are equal. So ang formula ni V1 is equals to V2 is 1/4 D1 minus 1/4 times D2 minus 1/2 D3 minus 1/2 D1. So mo na iyahang equation. And si V3 is equals to V4 is equals to 1/4 D1 plus 1/4 D2 minus 1/2 D3 minus 1/2 D1. So, mo ang iyahang equation. And for V5 and V6 is equals to V6 na 1/4 again D3 plus 1/4 D2 minus 1/2 D3 minus 1/2 D1. So, mo na siya ang equation. And for V7 is equals to V8. So, yung formula is 1/4 D3 minus 1/4 times D2 minus 1/2 D3 minus D1. Dali rin siya memorize in class, no? Tanawonin mo sa formula, same lang ni sila, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4 times D2 minus 1/2 D3 minus 1/2 D1. Mag-differ lang sila diri sa first, no? And for this equation, equal na sila si 1/4 D1 sa first two equation and si 1/4 D3 po sa third and fourth equation. And ang ilaha lang, careful lang po sa imuhang sign, no? Si V1 o si V2 ay alagi is negative, diri po sa V7 o V8 negative. Kanya ang duha sa tunga is positive. So, dali na siya memorize in class. Kaya yun na ninyo. So, to determine the V1 and V2, kung saan doon ipagkuha si V1 o V2, etc. are corrections, no? Mine for the angles A, B, and etc. Like for example, ang kaning si V1 o si V2 are for A and B, no? This is for A and B, and so on. Si V3 and V4 is C og D, kaya pong V5 og V6 is E og F, 7 og 8 is G og H. Siya. And si D1, D2, and D3 are the errors of closure of the triangles. Ano yung mga errors? Si D diriya are errors. So, we're going to let na lang, di ba, sa ako pang giinga ganina, mga kaning, para madali siya memorize, is, kanilang siya is equal na sila tanan, no, sa upat ka formula. But in this case, ato lang ni siyang let na himuon siyang K. No? Ato na siyang i-denote as letter K. So, mo ni siyang pasabot niya diriya. We're going to let K is equals to 1/4 times D2 minus 1/2 D3 minus 1/2 D1. So, ato na siyang himuong K. Alright, so let's go now to the side condition equations. So side condition is a requirement imposed with the lengths of the side. So in this case, sa side mga lengths na punta, no, sa iyahang distances. Kay ganyan na angle condition, it's talk about more on angles. So karon na po, we're going to talk about the side or the length of the triangulation. After the figures are adjusted using the angle condition equations, the figure may still be imperfect. So, muna na ani si side condition. Kaya after the angle condition, we need to deal with this side condition. So, it states that lines AB, BD, BD, and BC may not intersect in a common point. So, dili sila magka-intersect. So further adjustment is needed to remove these inconsistencies. Alright, so let AB be the known side. So in this example, no, si AB is the known side, and side DC can be computed by employing the different combinations of overlapping triangles. So if the figure is a perfect quadrilateral, the length DC will be the same, no, whichever combination is used, no. Kung perfect daw ni siya nga square, kung same sila og sides or equal ang ilahang sides, so it can be bisag unsa daw siya nga combination sa imuhang triangles or nag-overlap ng mga triangles imong gamiton, the same lang gyapon ang answer. Pero pag dili, so nadyo mag-differ, no? So this condition must be imposed if complete conformity between the sides and the angles are to be expected. So to derive, no, the equations for side condition, so with AB daw as known side and DC is the will be the side that are going to be compute, no? And let's consider triangle ABC, and triangle BCD, no, kani nga mga triangles. So using sine law, so AB daw is equals to sine D or opposite, no? So para makita na to siya, no, di ba? AB, no, sa AB opposite niya si sine D, and BC kani siya opposite niya si sine A, So ato i-manipulate na mo siyang BC is equals to AB sine A over sine D. Also BC, no, considering another triangle, no, si BC opposite niya is opposite niya is angle F, and si DC ani opposite niya is si angle C. So manipulating, we can get this DC is equals to BC sine C over sine F. Then we're going to substitute, no, the value of BC, no, ato i-substitute ni si BC kani ato siya i-substitute diri no. We can have this formula. So DC is equals to AB sine A sine C over sine B over sine F. So nga na siya pagkuha sa distance DC, no, using the known side, no? So sine law lang siya, kanila siya is isa lang ni siya ka route atong gi-consider, which is BC as the common side. Pero daghan pa siya klase nga route, so lain-lain na po siya. So I assume na kabalo naman mo ana, no? So it's a recall for you. So again, another na pod, no? So we are going to take into consideration the triangle ABD, kaning ABD, and triangle ACD. Triangle ACD, kanina po siya ng ACD. So balik ta sa ato ang sine law, no? AB opposite niya is si G, no, kani, and triangle distance AD, no, AD, yan na pong opposite is si B in this triangle, no, sa kaninga triangle na, no. So manipulating, we are going to get this equation AD is equals to AB sine B over sine G. So also in this triangle, no, kasi sa tong common side naman pod karon is kani si AD, no. So triangle AD, so si AD sine distance AD, opposite niya is si sin E. Then DC, opposite niya is si H, no? Angle H. Manipulating, you can have this equation. DC is equals to AD sin H over sin E. Then, substitute na to ni si AD, dira sa equation number 2, we can have this equation. No? DC is equals to AB sin B sin H over sin E sin G. So, this value or this, we can now get the value of the unknown side given the known side na AB. Alright, so let's argue from the equations nga itong nakuha ganina, no, sa DC using the two routes, no, which is DC as the common side and AD as the common side. So naman din nakuha ganina nga duha ka equation sa DC. So pag ato siyang i-equate, mo ni siya, no? AB sin A sin C over sin B sin F is equal to AB sin B sin H over sin E sin G. And it can be simplified as, no, kung ato ni siyang manipulate, no? So kung ato ni siyang i-cross multiply, no, or ato siyang so mahimo siyang AB or no, AB sin A sin C sin E sin G all over AB sin B sin D sin F and sin H. So i-cross multiply na siya plus na cross multiply siya, so makancel ang AB, no? Makancel si AB kaya equate naman siya. So mo na siya ang formula para, no? So sin A sin C sin E sin G all over sin B sin D sin F sin H. So sa inyong makita plus salit-salit ra na siya, no, or murag ka ng puli-puli or mura siya og kasi tawag ko sa right nga term na siya, laktaw-laktaw, no? Sa inyong makita diri sin A sin C sin E, no, sin G, no? Sa taas na sila, and si sin B sin D sin F o si sin H is nasa ubos, no? Laktaw-laktaw na sila class. Mandali lang ito siya ma-memorize. And if the logarithmic daw, kung ano to ang logarithmic functions niya, so we can have this, no? Kay since ma-minus mo ni siya kay division, so naatay ilag sign lang nato siya, no? Lag sign A, lag sign C sa mga upper ni, no? So upper or ang iyang numerator, no? Lag sign A, lag sign C, lag sign E, lag sign G plus tanan minus the denominator na lag sign B plus lag sign D plus lag sign F plus lag sign H will be equal to 0. So muna ni karon nato ang i-satisfy, no? Muna siya ato i-satisfy sa side angle condition, side condition rather. So in summary, no, the side condition equation is this one, no? Dapat mo equate mo satisfy siya na or kani, no? So lag sign kung na to ang iyang mga lag signs, no? So that's the summary for side condition equation. Unless the condition is satisfied, no, the value of the computed length will depend on the triangles used in the computation. So magdepende siya kung unsa nga ruta imong gigamit, unsa nga mga triangles imong gigamit, no? Although masatisfy na to siya ang condition, pero ang pangutana karon is ang imong gigamit nga mga triangles is suitable, no, in computing the side condition equations. A correct adjustment to meet this condition will require angle corrections, which vary in size since the signs of small angles change more rapidly than do the signs of the large ones, no? So kung ato siyang i-investigate, no, ang katong mga sign gani, sign sa mga smaller angles, no? Smaller angles are changing rapid, no, or paspas ang iyang values nga difference, no, difference sa values niya between the previous and the new one, no? Unlike sa mga large angles, no, nga dili siya ingana ka paspas or dili siya ingana kadako ang difference nila. Alright, so here are the steps on how to solve side condition. First is to determine three triangles where the sum of the angles will be computed. So in this step, no, in determining the three triangles, let the first triangle be the one where the measured baseline is located. So kani, no, kung ang kani man ato ang measured baseline, AB. Then the third vertex of this triangle should be determined clockwise from the two stations containing the baseline. Two stations. So kanina una, no? Clockwise. Sunod, the remaining two triangles should be determined clockwise from the first triangle. So paana ta, no? Paana ta. Ay clockwise man daw ang ingon niya. So therefore, ang second na to nga triangle is BCD. No? Tapos ACD. So kana nga mga triangles mo na atong i-consider, no? And they are mo na niya pasabot, no? The three triangles are ABC, BCD, and CDA from the figure. Note that the first triangle can be any of the four overlapping triangles. Just ensure that you will be consistent when computing of the D1, D2, and D3 values, as well as the V1, V2, and V3, etc. For example, if you choose DAB, no, DAB as your first triangle, the next triangles will be ABC and BCD. So basta kay clockwise lang siya. Depende na sa imong first triangle. Alright, so for ABC, triangle ABC, no, ABC, no, yung gibutan diri the sum of the interior angle dapat diba must be satisfied with 180 degrees. So naa diri ang value sa to ang angles, no? Naa diri si A, B, C, o D. So dapat pag ato ni silang i-sum, no? Pag ato na silang i-add tanan dapat 180. So since kay dili man siya 100, sobra man siya 180 degrees, so atong kuhaon ang iyahang error, which is denotated as D1, no? First nga error, no? D1 is equal to 180 minus the sum of the triangle ABC, or the interior angle of the ABC. So we have now our error, or atong D1 to be negative 8 seconds. Next is we're going to consider the triangle BCD, no? So from here sa to ang figure na ay BCD, so ang angle na nadiha kay C, C, D, E, ug F, no? Ana sila nga mga angles. So to silang i-sum na say sum nga 179, 59, 48. So next is our kuha to ang error, no, which is 180 minus sum of the interior angle BCD. So naatay error nga positive 12, no, positive 12 seconds, no? And we're going to denote that as D2, D2. For angle CDA, at triangle CDA rather, no? Triangle CDA, no? Triangle CDA na siya mga angles nga which is the interior, no, of this triangle. We have E, F, G, H. So kung ano siyang sum, ang ilahang sum tanan is 179, 56, and 59 and 56 seconds. So kung ano siyang error, which is 180 degrees minus the sum of the triangle CDA, we have positive 4, no? Positive 4 seconds nga error. So we're going to denote that as D3. D3 siya. So the next step is to determine the values of the correction, such as V1, V2, V3, V4 until V8. So to get that, we have these values of errors denoted as D1, D2, and D3 that we have determined from the last step, no, which is on step 2. So we have also this formula from our discussion, no, sa mga previous na slide. And where k daw is 1/4 times d2 minus d1 d3 minus 1/2 d1. First is we are going to solve these values kani si k. Si k ato ning kuhaon kung sa value ni k. Substituting, no, 1/4 times d2, d2 is 12 seconds, minus 1/2 times d3, d3 is 4 seconds, minus 1/2 d1, which is negative 8 seconds. So if you're going to calculate that, we will have a value of 3.5 seconds. So muna niya itong k karon. And to solve for v1 until v8, so we're gonna use this formula, no, kanina sa right side. First is v1 that is equal to v2, 1/4 times d1 minus k. So substituting the values that we have given and also the calculated one, we can get the value of v1 is equals to v2, which is equal to negative 5.5 seconds. Next is ang v3, and v3 that is equal also to v4. So this is the correction for angles C and D, no? Okay, ang v1 of v2 is for A and B, no? So v1 is for A, v2 is for B, v3 is for C, and v4 is for D, no? Substituting the value, and from the equation, which is 1/4 times d1 plus k, we have the value of 1.5 seconds. Next is we're going to get the value of v5 and v6 that is also equal. Now v5 for angle E and v6 for angle F. So we have this equation 1/4 times d3 plus k. We can determine the value of 4.5 seconds. Next is for v7 and v8, so which is also applies as for correction for angles G and H, no? v7 for G and v8 for H, no? And we have this formula 1/4 times d3 minus k, so we can have this value of negative 2.5 seconds. Alright, so the next step, which is the step 4, is to apply the correction that to satisfy the angle conditions and to check if all the 7 angles condition are satisfied, no? The 7 angle conditions are satisfied. So we have here the values that we get from the previous step, which is ang v1 until v8, na kani sila nga mga values. So step 3 niyo sila gikan. So to adjust the angles, no? So we have A prime, denotated A prime as the adjusted angle for angle A. So the measured angle A plus v1. So ato lang to siyang i-substitute ang value sa A, tapos i-substitute na to ang value sa v1, which is negative 5.5. We can have this value of 42, 38, and 30.5 seconds. For B, so again, B prime denotated as the adjusted angle B. So we have this formula nga B plus V2, which is also negative 5.5. So we can have the value of 64, 52, 22.5. So again class, no, wala na ako siya ginapakita diri ang step by step. So sundan lang ninyo ning nasa slides. Then of course calculate mo, practice mo calculate sa inyong balay as you go listening with this video lecture. For C prime, so C plus V3, no? V3 is equals to, or ang V3 na to pala is 1.5 seconds, so we can have this value of 40 degrees, 42, and 58.5 seconds. So as sa D, adjusted angle for D, we have 31, 56, 08.5, and for E, we have E prime, which is the adjusted angle for E. We have 62 degrees, 0 minutes, and 50.5 seconds. For F, we have 45 degrees, 30 minutes, and 02.5 seconds. And for G, we will having 33, 31, 29.5 seconds. And for H, we have 38, 57, 37.5 type. So muna ni karon atong mga adjusted angle, no? Adjusted angle for after the side condition, no? Side condition. But we are going to have checking, no? If ang ato bang nakuha na mga values as adjusted one is ni-satisfy ba siya sa angle condition. So first condition is the sum of the angles must for each triangle must be 180 degrees. So for example, no, the sum of A, B, and C na adjusted na, no, dapat mo equal siya 180 degrees. So therefore, si A prime, B prime, and C prime, and D prime, dapat mo equal siya 180 degrees. And if you're going to add these values, so A, B, C, D, you can have 180 degrees. So therefore, ni-satisfy ang first triangle. Next triangle is the sum of the triangle BCD. So BCD, dapat mo equal siya 180 degrees. And if you are going to calculate these values, CDEF, ng mga interior angles sa triangle BCD, is ni-equal siya 180 degrees. Therefore, satisfied po siya sa second triangle. Next is for triangle ACD or CDA. No, CDA. So, ang iyang interior angle is EFGH. So, pag imo nang i-add ang EFGH, you can have this value of 180 degrees. Therefore, ni-satisfy siya sa atoang condition, no, for angles. And we have also triangle DAB. DAB. No? Triangle DAB. DAB. So, ang ihapong triangle, ihapong mga angles within that triangle is GHAB. So, pag ato nang i-add, also, it is equal to 180 degrees. Therefore, satisfied siya sa first nato nga condition. And second condition is dapat ang whole nato nga whole sum of the interior angles within this quadrilateral must be equal to 360. Ay, di ba? Sum of all interior angles per quadrilateral is equal to 360. So, kung ato na siyang i-add, tanan kaning A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, ni-equal na siya og 360 degrees. Therefore, check ang ato ang method. Then, next condition is the opposite angles at the intersection of the diagonals must be equal. Diba? Muna itong pagsabot ganina sa atong discussion. No? Sa discussion sa side condition. Dapat daw si A o si B, no? Si A o si B, pag ato ning i-add, si A o si B, pag ato nang i-add, no? And si E o si F, at pag ato po na silang i-add, dapat daw equal, no? Equal sila. So kung ato ning i-check diya sa atong adjusted angles, no? Kung ato ning i-add si A o si B o si E o si F, mo total sila parehas og 107 degrees, 30 minutes, and 53 seconds. So therefore, satisfied siya sa ato ang condition. So as, no, sa C o sa D, no, si C daw kuno o si D, pag ina na silang ato nang i-add, dapat mo equal daw siya kang H o kang G pag ato silang i-add. So pag atong i-add ang duha, no, from the adjusted angles, no, from the adjusted angles, we can have this value of 72 degrees 79.07 seconds. So i-check niyo class kung sakto ba, pero sakto ni siya kaya ako po din solve. So therefore, no, kaya ato naman siyang na-prove during ato man nang gi-prove ang tanan nga conditions. Therefore, all angle conditions are satisfied. So tanan ato ang gipang condition nga gibuhat kaganina or atong i-discuss kanina. So na-satisfy nato siya diri by checking the angles out from the adjusted angles na atong nakuha. So nara siya, no, from the output nato, no, naatay adjusted na ug naatay observe, katong observe, then kaning naka-prime, A prime, B prime, C prime, and so on. This is now the adjusted one, adjusted angles. Step 5 will be about the checking if the side condition is really satisfied. No? So let us recall this equation that we have discussed a while ago, that this is equal to log sine A plus log sine C plus log sine E plus log sine G minus the log sine B plus log sine D plus log sine F plus log sine H. So sa atong discuss sa ganina, no, the upper with kaning first log signs, group of log signs is the numerator, and the second one of group of log signs is the denominator, as what you have recalled in our discussion kaganina, no, in this previous slide. So again, this will be the first group and this is the second group. So what we are going to do in this step is to create a table of log signs of the adjusted angles. No, atong gamito na is ang log sign of the adjusted angles, no, adjusted angles, and the tabular difference of log signs for 1 second. No, second. And please take note that the value that you are going to calculated, or ang iyong dapat itali, is dapat naka 9 decimal places. Again, 9 decimal places. Get the sum of these these log signs of the first and second group of angles and get the difference. And let this be equal to the difference. Mao ni ato ang ganito na denotation, DIFF or diff. And also get the sum of the tabular difference of log signs of 1 seconds for the first and second group of angles, and this will be denotated as sum 1 and sum 2, respectively. Sum 1 for first group and sum 2 for second group. Next is the average correction of to be applied to each angle in seconds is the correction. No? Correction in seconds will be equal to the difference, no? Which is the difference between the log signs of the first and second group, all over, no, the sum of the sum 1 and the sum 2. Then the correction is added, again please take note of this class, is added to each of the angle whose log sign is smaller. Dugangan ang gamay ra og log sign, and it will be subtracted from each of the angles whose log sign is bigger. Pag dako, so kuhaan jud siya. From our example kaganina, no, sa ato ang problem, no, so natay nakuha diri nga values from the after the angle condition adjustment. So we have here the values of A, B, C, D until sa H. No? So let's do the side condition, no, and we're going to have the table of these log signs. No? So from these values from the adjusted angle, so we're going to have the log sign. No? So saan siya pagkuha? So just input this argument, no, sa inyong calculator. So just press log sign, then the angle A, no, for this example. So we're going to have the A angle, no, angle A. So 42, 38, 30.5. So ang output niya class is naadiri ibutan nato sa log sign diri sa kani siya, no. So pag imo ning equal kaning argument sa imong calculator, mugawas ni siya, no? And so on and so forth na dayon, no, sa C, E, G, ano tuod na sila diri kay because sila ang mga first group, no, sa to ang i-discuss sa ganina sa previous slide. Then kani is ang second group, no. So again, so kuhaan tanan og log signs ang C, E, G, B, D, F, of H. Afterwards is we're going to get the tabular difference of 1 seconds. So ang siya pagbutang, no? So that is log sign, the angle which is for this example is A, no, which is 42, 38, 30.5. Plusan na to siya og 1 second, no? So mahimo na siyang 42, 38, 31.5 minus log sign gihapon pero angle A na nagyapon siya. So 42, 38, 30.5. For the example sa A, no, A nga angle, no. So log sign 42, 38, 31. So gibold na ko ning 1 kay gidugangan man siya og 1 second minus log sign sa 42, 38, 30.5. Ang answer ana niya mao ni siya, no? Kani nga value. So you're going to do that, no, for the rest of the angles like C, E, G, B, D, F, H. No. So afterwards, we are going to get the sum of the log signs. No. So aton siyang add tanan kaning log sign kani siya from first group and sum of the log sign of the second group. No. Pag ato na siyang i-add, so we can have the sum of negative 0.667996955, and for the second group we have negative 667997831. And also we're going to get the sum of the tabular difference of 1. So pag kani po nato po siyang i-add and kani. Pag ato na siyang kuhaon ng iyahang sum, we can have 9.044 times 10 to the negative 6 and 9.0385 times 10 to the negative 6. And we're going to get the difference, no? So ang pagkuha sa difference, so the sum lang of the log sign of the first minus the log sign of the second, no? So kani diya i-substitute, then kani diya i-substitute. So substitute the values, mo ni siya, then makakuha ta og value nga 8.76 times 10 raised to the power of negative 7. The next is we're going to get also the sum of the difference of 1, no? So mga to kong ganina, no, kani siya na value, so naara siya for first, and kani, no, is na-add siya second. Ako na nag-discuss ka ganina. So sum raman po siya, i-add na nimo ang tabular difference of 1 sa first group and tabular difference of 1 sa second group. Alright, so next is we're going to get the correction, no? Ang correction, ang formula niya is correction is equals to difference over the sum of 1 and the sum of 2. No? Ang sum niya is katong tabular difference of 1. No? So tabular difference of 1 is ang sum 1, then ang tabular difference of 1 sa second group is ang sum 2. Substitute the value, so kaning ganina ang difference is mo na ito nakuha 8.76 times 10 raised to the power of negative 7. Then substitute the value of tabular difference of sum of 1, no, mo ni siya kani substitute diha, no? Then kani i-substitute nato dire. Alright, so ano, no, then graphical correction, we can have this value, no, 0.048 seconds. So mo ni karon nato ang i-apply nga correction. So from the above, no, mao ni ang mga nakuha nato nga values kanina, 8.76 times 10 raised to the power of negative 7. Sum of 1 is 9.044 times 10 raised to the power of negative 6. Sum 2 is 9.03485 times 10 raised to the power of negative 6. Then we will have a correction of 0.048 seconds. Alright, for the last step, no, of the side condition is to add and subtract the corrections and check if the side condition is really satisfied. So in this step is you're going to add the correction to the group of angles, no, di ba nato group 1 ganyan, tapos na apoy group 2, no, i-add na to, no, we're going to add the correction to the group of angles whose sum of log signs is smaller, no, o mas gamay. And we're going to subtract, no, to the other group of angles. So kung isubtract nato siya kung bigger ang iyahang sum of log signs. So in our case, no, kaganina, ang first group has a highest, no, nga mas dako siya og sum of log sign compared sa second group. So therefore, ang first group, kay dako man siya og value sa sum of log sign. So we are going now to subtract, no, the value of correction sa ato ang corrected angle kaganina, no, which is after sa angle condition. So si A, si C, si E and G are the first group, no, and ang correction nga 0.048 is we are going to subtract, no? And for the angles B, D, F, and H, since kay small man ang iyahang sum of log signs, so we are going to add, no, the value of correction, no, sa katong angle. So out from that, no, ato siyang i-substitute ang value sa A prime, which is ang adjusted angle from the angle condition. Then ato din siyang i-apply ang correction. So we have now the adjusted angle after the side condition to have this one, no, kani si A, si B, A to be 42.38 30.452 seconds, si B to be 64 52 22.548, si C is to be 42 32 58.452, si D to be 31 56 08.548, si E to be 62 degrees 62 degrees and 50 seconds 50.452 seconds, si F to be 45 30 02.548, si G to be 33 31 29.552, and lastly si H to be 38 57 37.548 seconds. So muna ni karon ang value sa adjusted angles after the side conditions. So I guess maay naman jud mo ani, no? So i-recall lang ninyo ang inyong knowledge about this one. Alright, so for additional, no, sa step 6 is ang we are going to subtract the correction. So ano kaganyan na, no, i-add sa katong mga smaller ang sum of log signs and i-subtract sa mga dagko, no, o sum of log signs. Next thing in step 6 is to get the total angles, and dapat 360 gihapon ang interior angles niya, 360. So kung ato ning i-add, no, muna yung mga adjusted angle, di ba, from first group and second group. So kung ato na silang i-add tanan, it will going to be 360 degrees. Alright, so afterwards, after getting the total angles of the quadrilateral, so dapat 360 degrees to siya, no? So atong mga napatunayan din nila nga dapat 360 degrees gud siya. So atong i-calculate 360 degrees gud pud siya. Next is to get the log signs of those angles that corrected after the side condition, and please take note that the sum of the log signs should agree, no, or in difference within last one or two decimal places lang siya, no? So later ato natang i-discuss about this one. So here are example of the no, di siya example, answer sa example na to, ganyan na sumpay siya kumbaga, no? So as you can see, kawala naman mo, no, kung unsaon pagkuha sa log sign. So natay yung value diri sa adjusted value of A, B, C, D, A, F, G, H, no? So sa first group is natay A, C, E, G, and napunta sa second group na B, D, F, and H, no? So ang giingon ni diri sa step 6, no, ingon niya na we are going to get the log signs. So mo ani ang mga log signs niya, no, sa A, C, E, and G, and so as diri sa B, D, F, ug H. So na siya. So after that one, you are going to get the sum of all the log signs, no, at first group, and sum of the log signs for second group. Then after that one, we have this value of for first group, we have negative 0.667997.391, and sa second group is negative 0.667997399. Then ang gingon niya diri class nga dapat mag-differ lang siya in the last one or two decimal places. As you can see, no, sa first log sign, second log sign, nag-differ lang siya sa last decimal places, which is ang first is 91 and second is 99. Alright, so it means to say nga na satisfy na ang atuang side condition.